Hey everybody, this is Josh, and here we go with game number 2 between WhiteRa or WhiteRa, the Ukrainian Protoss player. He is the red one over here on the left side of Lost Temple, and his opponent today, of course, is the one, the only liquid TLO, this time sporting the purple Zerg. He is playing random in this best of 5 series. It is the finals of the TL Open, better known as the TSL 4 qualifier. Both of these players vying for a spot, an automatic qualification into the TSL, a big old tournament taking place later this year, hosted by Team Liquid and sponsored by PokerStrategy.com. And yeah, so this should be an excellent series. That micro in the first game by TLO, that decision making, that reaction timing, everything was great. WhiteRa in that PvP looked like he almost didn't know what was going on, so TLO gonna have to change gears a little bit now as a Zerg player. WhiteRa gonna scout almost instantly after dropping that pylon. He needs to figure out what race TLO is as soon as possible so he can decide on a game plan. He's gonna see this creep and just back on out of there. I'm not sure if TLO saw this probe with his Overlord, but if he did, he can actually maybe guess that WhiteRa is at this close running position. He obviously is not at the close flying position, or his Overlord would have seen that. An Extractor coming down first for TLO, seeing this very popular ZVP build where you just get speedlings as quick as you can, and then from there you can either get a Roach Warren, you can expand and get a lair up, you can kind of open up your options, but speed first seems to be the build of choice for ZVP these days. WhiteRa gonna just cruise around, checks out that spawning pool timing, steals 5 minerals. That's kind of a mean thing to do to TLO. Are you not his friend, stealing his minerals like that? He didn't steal your minerals. Anyway, Gateway coming down, very standard Protoss build as per usual. Pylon number 2 going to be followed by a Cybernetics core, I'm sure, at some point. This mineral stealing probe back in the base of TLO, just checking things out. Obviously there's not much to see at the moment. Not able to hide any tech as there are no creep tumors, there's no lair for Overlord creep crapping, and basically anything you're going to see, you'll see right here in this little frame of view, this circle of creep. The spawning pool is now done. Zergling speed starts right on time. He pulls all those probes out of gas, puts them back on minerals so he can go ahead and get this queen up and some Zerglings. 4 Zerglings being made right now. WhiteRa's probe may not be long for this earth if he sticks around too long. Gonna see that spawning pool done, gonna see those eggs, and probably just get on out of there. Cybernetics core starting right now. He's not trying to do a wall off. I've seen Protoss players recently doing a gateway, Cybernetics core here, and then a single zealot blocking up the rest, and this probe is right-click somewhere onto a mineral patch. One more hit from a Zergling will end his life permanently. Let's see if and when it happens. The Zergling is gaining ever so slightly, and now the probe is not going to die because he's been regenning shields this whole time. I lied. One more hit was not going to do it, and now the Zerglings have arrived in WhiteRa's base, and the probe is still alive. Oh my god. So he builds a second gateway here to plug up this hole with a single zealot on hold position, and gets a stalker out now so he can start thinning out these Zerglings. The same injured probe going back out into the field. WhiteRa couldn't send a fresh recruit. He had to send this grizzled veteran, and now TLO actually expanding way over here on the right side of the map instead of at his natural. WhiteRa may be a little bit surprised by that. It's kind of interesting to see a Zerg go for a one-base play all the way up into the 20s, into the 20s of supply. Sorry, stumbled a little bit there, but yeah, this hidden expansion could work out quite well for TLO. The only problem is it's way over here, and any units that he can make right now are going to have to run a very long way to be able to join any kind of fights. WhiteRa, on the other hand, is doing a kind of aggressive build. 4-gate, pretty much as aggressive as they come, and Warp Gate tech is going to be completed here soon. Does he have enough for another Chrono Boost? Yes, he does. Is he going to use it? I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. Drops another forward pylon so he can cut that run distance for his Stalkers and Zealots. TLO going super greedy. Might be in trouble here, folks. Now that Warp Gate tech is finished, these 4 gates are, actually 3 gates are going to flip over. The 4th one not quite done yet, but WhiteRa not showing any plans of expanding. Instead, he's saving up all his dough to crank out some Stalkers. 4th gateway is finished now, and needs to go ahead and flip that over. There it goes. Zealots being warped in first, staying economical. 160 gas available to him, though. He can start warping in some more Stalkers. Needs to build probably another pylon somewhere as well, just so he doesn't get blocked here during this first wave of attacks. There's another pylon getting ready to go down. TLO has speed done for his Zerglings. He is hanging out at the Zonlaga Tower, so he's going to see if and when WhiteRa decides to move out. Pokes up here and sees a bunch of units. Probably not too happy about that. No spine crawlers down yet, just a baneling nest going up. And this hatch is just about to complete. No queen being built just yet. This hatch is done, does have a queen, and now gets a nice fresh larva inject as well. WhiteRa is going to expand. Holy crap, 4-gate expand before even sending a single attack. TLO is going to send 30-ish Zerglings here to WhiteRa's natural. All these Stalkers and Sentries up on the cliff are going to have an easy time taking out lots of Zerglings if TLO commits to an attack like that. Some Banelings morphing now. Not sure what is going to happen here, mostly because these sentries do have enough energy for force fields. These zealots are kind of tucked away in the back. Stalkers and sentries up on the cliff do have some time to shoot away at these banelings. They don't have speed, obviously. They can be focused down, but these speedlings are going to run in first, try and get a surround on everything. One single force field goes down. 2 force fields go down. Baneling's trapped out. He doesn't have enough for that last one, so he's going to need to figure out some positioning. TLO finally moving in with the banelings. He is going to gun it for those zealots and stalkers. Almost takes out everything the WhiteRa has. Unfortunately, he still has a bunch of stuff, and now he's able to warp in rounds of 4 units at a time. He knows that you just used a ton of your resources making those banelings, so he is going to go ahead and start on the counterattack. Kills off that first baneling egg. Second baneling going to be canceled by TLO, and as he scampers back to his natural. This base is done. It's got some Zerglings headed to try and defend against this. No spine crawlers are up. No second queen is there. TLO not going to be able to morph any banelings right now. He needs all these speedlings to be able to try and fend this off. Zealots doing quite well against the Zerglings. Good force fields going down, keeping the Zealots from getting surrounded. Looks like WhiteRa is going to be having going to have enough units here, and now with this pylon here, he can warp in fresh Zealots. This is looking grim for TLO. I don't see him morphing any banelings in that production tab, just making Zerglings out of 3 hatcheries at a time. It looks like TLO is going for a little bit of a counterattack. I'll keep that in the picture-in-picture as we watch WhiteRa trying to take down this hatchery here at the natural. A couple of drones there are exposed. He's going to send those Zealots there and warp in another Stalker. It looks like TLO just chasing down some reinforcements with those Lings, not getting much done. 4 banelings being morphed God knows where up here in the main. The hatchery does go down to WhiteRa's Zealots and Stalkers. More units being warped in all the time. 50 supply against 49, so TLO is keeping up, but a lot of that supply is being tied up in eggs and Zerglings coming from the far right side of the map. This wall of Zealots approaching the baneling eggs. Now all these Zealots are going to go down to the few banelings, but there's so many Stalkers and Sentries left, and a good force field on the ramp is going to keep those Lings from getting up here. TLO counterattacking yet again at the Nexus at WhiteRa's natural. This Overlord is going to go down. Queen is going to go down, most likely. What is WhiteRa going to focus on here? He's not microing anything except for a single sentry. Going to drop another force field over here at the ramp right as this one completes, so a couple Zerglings get in, but a couple of them don't. Drones have nowhere to go as that force field is up. He drops yet another pylon, this one actually in the main of TLO. TLO trying to respond, but that wall off at WhiteRa's main seems to have been enough to hold him off, so TLO, drone count dwindling, income dropped to 0, all these Lings shut out of his own main, unable to help. Is another force field going to go down to drop? Yes, it will. It will sever the forces of TLO, and he is forced to GG as WhiteRa's 4-gate expand takes the game there in Game 2 on Lost Temple. This is a best-of-5 series, though, and now it is tied up 1-1, so let's go on to Game 3 and see who will be our TL Open champion.